This is the first broadcast of the ScruTone Podcast, where the ScruTone Cafe hosts some of important people for conservatism in Europe and in worldwide. And our first guest is Sophie Scruton, who is the wife of late Roger Scruton. So welcome here at Budapest.
Thank you.
First, I would like to ask you that how you felt yourself here at Budapest now.
Oh, I've had a lovely week. Budapest is a beautiful city, wonderful sense of being in a sophisticated European capital city. Thank you.
And what is it, this kind of feeling that this cafe is named after your late husband? So there are his belongings here around. Mm-hmm. So.
Yes, it's nice to see items that Roger used and found beautiful. And I like seeing the way in which you have mixed them with a nice modern cafe where people want to be.
Yeah, and you live on a farm in England.
Yes.
So Roger and you found it important to live a let's say rural life, more or less a rural life. What is it like today to follow rural life in England in the age of, I don't know, modernity or digital postmodernity?
Well, people who live in the countryside feel very lucky to do so. I think that modern technology enables people to carry on their work, mm-hmm. even from remote places. And so if you like the countryside, this is fantastic. Mm-hmm. I don't say you don't miss the buzz of the city, so that's why it's been nice to spend a week in this city. But as you know, Roger spent the last 20 years of his life, or 25 years perhaps, living at Sunday Hill Farm, and he found it a terrific place from which he could write his books. Mm-hmm. And he felt relaxed there in the way that you would want to be relaxed at home. And but it seemed to help him be even more productive. And yes, so the countryside in England at the moment is it's doing well. We are navigating the change in policy mm-hmm. since Brexit, because obviously farmers used to be subsidised by the European Union. Yeah. And so now the government has created its own agricultural policies. Mm-hmm. And they've shifted the balance towards subsidy for environmental benefits, mm-hmm. particularly nature and biodiversity. Mm-hmm. And so there's now you can now receive a subsidy both for producing food, mm-hmm. but also you have to protect the environment and show that you're doing so at the same time. And that seems to me a good way forward.
Mm-hmm. Although there are the Tories whose politicians live in London or big cities, but what do you think on if conservatism is really intimately tied to rural life or town life, so not to big cities?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that conservatism, as Roger saw it, was shown through the way people live, the way people relate to each other as neighbours. Mm-hmm. And so that way of living is important in both the town and the country. Mm-hmm. And obviously one of the pieces of work Roger wanted to do was to ensure that new urban developments and cities have a livability about them, mixed use, where you can have your home and your office and your shops and your restaurants and even hopefully churches, all within a walkable distance of each other, so that people can enjoy city life and the community that they're part of, and they don't feel the alienation of an urban setting or a suburban setting. So I think that Conservatives can choose whether they prefer the city or the countryside, but probably what they're seeking is a sense of neighbourliness.
Here at Hungary, many times the people who live in villages are said to be backward by the political left. Is it also a phenomenon in England, so that the rural life is somehow becomes an ideological phenomenon from liberals?
Well, Conservative politicians do not see country people as backward. They see them as their own type, with a natural set of feelings and values that's very much in line with a conservative political view. Left-wing politicians make the mistake of saying that people in the countryside are, unintelligent. And it leads to some of the surprise election results that we see, like perhaps Brexit.
Maybe I guess the Hungarian election results are also partly results of that phenomenon here. So, how did you order the life in your farm? I mean that you and your husband simultaneously led the economy of the farm and he wrote his books. So how was if you can summarize, how was it one of his day when he read, when he wrote, when he went to the farm?
So Roger was always looking for time and space to work. So having a farmhouse meant we have a couple, more than just, we have downstairs, we have the kitchen, we have a living room, but we also have 2 other downstairs rooms, which can be studies, nice places to work. So that's very lucky. And so he could have a room where he wasn't being interrupted by other things that were going on in the farm. And so he would get up, have his tea, and go straight to his desk and get about an hour's work done at 8 o'clock. And then maybe come and have some breakfast. And then there might be things we had to do with the horses or whatever. I would probably go outside straight away. But it was very important to him, that first hour of work. And then, most of the day, if he didn't have a job to do, like a farm job or shopping or collecting the children from school, then he'd be at his desk working. He's very, very skilled and effective at work. He didn't sit there finding it difficult to write. And then at about 7:30 p.m, he would make dinner, pour a glass of wine, and we'd have a nice evening.
So both of you were very good in time management.
Roger was very good in time management.
Which is his favorite book of you nowadays, Roger's?
My favourite book of Roger's?
Yeah.
I think I like Gentle Regrets, which is an autobiographical book, and he has put it together in a clever way, I think, that gives me all the many aspects of Roger that are attractive. Of course, his early life is also attractive, even though it wasn't a life we shared particularly. But Gentle Regrets captures some of his formation as a fascinating intellectual.
And who are your favorite writers of conservatism? I mean, beside Roger, so who you like? Contemporary or not?
Yeah, I found contemporary. Well, I found C.S. Lewis's book Mere Christianity quite useful, helpful book. I found a book that I found very interesting. He may not call himself a conservative, is a book by David Goodhart called The Road to Somewhere.
Oh, yeah. No, it exists in Hungarian too.
I found that very interesting. And then I've just read Francis Fukuyama's The End of Liberalism. Is that what it's called? No, he was The End of History, something of Liberalism. So I found those books interesting.
What is the, according to you, the relationship between conservatism or tradition, because conservatism is somehow the keeping up traditions politically. So conservatism and innovation, especially in the framework of rural life. So what kind of innovations are fitting tradition and conservatism, what are not? What do you think? If you have some examples or thoughts on that.
I mean, most innovations that you can use to save yourself labour and travel are good.
Yeah.
So anything that frees your time to do more of what you enjoy, for me that's riding the horse, seem to be a very good thing. Obviously, it's down to you how you use the innovation. So if you allow your mobile phone to take over your life and then you never read another book and you regret that, then you need to make some changes. But it's not the mobile phone's fault. I suppose people worry about the effect on children. Obviously, there are cases of children who find it very hard to concentrate when they go to school. And you wonder whether that's to do with the distractions of technology. I was recently on a school board, and I was actually doing work on the area of the special educational needs. And it's a very large number of children in schools who need special lessons in order to enable them to stay in school. So this is a big problem, and the causes need to be addressed.
The last summer, the ScruTone Summer University was taking place. How was it like? What are the results? What do you think?
People who come always say it's one of the most special experiences of their life. I think people like to continue to learn, and they like the excitement of learning from a very intelligent, well-informed lecturer, which I'm lucky enough to know through knowing Roger's friends and also people he taught. And so people call it a holiday, but it's a holiday where their mind is stretched as well. And obviously, you know, people have chosen to go to university and things. I think they want to keep that up throughout their life and also come back to things with, maybe if they're older, come back to things that they want to reflect on a little bit. And then, of course, they enjoy the beautiful farm and the historic places that we can enjoy in England.
Is the main audience the youth, or? It's
mixed, totally mixed. So we would have both older people, because people pay to come, so the young people can't always afford to do it.
Yeah.
Although fellowships have been provided by quite a few foundations, including here in Hungary. So that's great, and everybody benefits really. It has a collegiate atmosphere whereby each member inspires the other person.
What are your future plans? I read that one of my colleagues interviewed with you on the Monday dinner that your late husband's writings on architecture should be collected and published, for example.
Yes, I mean, there are people translating Roger's books all the time, and it would be good to maybe to do more on architecture. You could easily have young writers add to it, respond to new buildings or new proposals, and also work on policy to try to make these livable spaces and places in cities. So I think Roger set out through his work for the UK government about architecture, he set out quite a number of recommendations that people could perhaps pick up and use in other contexts. Yes, you could collect Roger's writings on architecture, although they do exist in the books he put down, but maybe somebody might like to write a new introduction. Or
you suggested that there are some unpublished writings from the commission he was a part of.
Okay, well, the main report was published. It's called Living with Beauty, and you can get that from the government website as a PDF. But I suppose it could be turned into a nice book if somebody wanted, and it could be illustrated. Yeah, maybe somebody would like to do that.
So, what are your future plans?
Yes.
with the summer university, with the...
Well, I would like to keep it going and create time every summer for people to take part in it. And one of the values of that is it creates an alumni network. And then that's lots of people who make friends, stay in touch, and feel part of something that they find important. So it's a very worthwhile thing to do. And then the reason I'm here in Budapest is I thought we could offer the chance of doing the same thing but in another country, so that people could see a new place and be in a place that Roger had a strong connection with. And it went very well. Everybody enjoyed being here. They really enjoyed meeting people here at the Scruton Cafe, and they felt that they had been hosted sort of as personal friends as much as tourists, and they appreciated that very much, as did I.
Wait, the last question. Your husband really gave a special attention to Central Europe, let's say, or the ex-Soviet bloc. Do you see differences between Western Europe and Central Europe today? Positive and negative too, or what? So politically, culturally.
Well, when I visit Central Europe, I'm very lucky because I go into a bubble of Roger's friends. It's not like I know the whole experience of other people. And of course, it feels, going into a bubble of his friends feels like it's a sort of little haven where things are being done right. But I expect it's not the whole picture. Obviously, do I see major differences? Really just, I think this city and the cities I go to otherwise, obviously London, but also I visited my daughter who's living in Paris at the moment 3 weeks ago. To be honest, people enjoy a lovely city, the cafes, the art galleries, the parks. I think the parks are important. I think that's one of the Western freedoms that we're all looking for, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.